Today we are going to discuss about architecture of SAP systems. Good day.
Shiva.
Shiva, take your seat. Take your seat. Shiva. First day.
Yes.
Okay. So you have missed your couple of classes. So you can take that video as well. So guys, what we have to discuss today is very clear to everyone. We are going to discuss about architecture of SAP software applications. Right? So now write down. You need to do little writing, guys, today. You have some things to get up. You need to pull your pen and book, and you need to do a lot of writing today in prospects of understanding every system. Anyhow, Devi, Mamta, Mani, Naveen, Harshvardhan, Pavan Sai, Pooja, Purna, and Sayada Srivastav. Everyone are here. We are not seeing another Harsha. Hopefully he's going to join. But let us start our topic. Guys, what should be your heading? Write down architecture of SAP software applications. Architecture of SAP software applications. Architecture of SAP software applications designed. Architecture of SAP software applications designed between the time frame of 1992 to 2003. Architecture of SAP software applications designed between time frame of 1992 to 2003. So guys, what is that architecture? You can write down one more statement. Each and every software application designed in this time frame, each and every software application designed in this time frame follow a single architecture named as R3, named as R by 3, where R stands for real time or runtime, where R stands for real time or runtime, and 3 stands for 3-tier architecture. 3-tier 3-tier architecture. 3-tier architecture. Okay. So everyone are in sync, right guys? What we are discussing about. Yesterday we have made it very clear that today we are going to get into SAP software applications and their architecture. So to start with, we are discussing about the softwares which are released by SAP between the time frame of 1992 to 2003. And once you understand the architecture of these software applications, we would be starting the software applications which are designed between 2004 to till date. So, firstly, we are going to understand about the software which are designed with this or between this period, and we have understood that they are following R3 architecture, or what do you say, R by 3. So in this R by 3, what does R stands for, guys? Real time or runtime. That means these software applications are designed to run real time environment or real time businesses. And when we look into 3, we have understood 3 as 3-tier architecture. So what you have written about 3-tier architecture? Write down, guys. A 3-tier architecture system or software, a 3-tier architecture system or a software, a 3-tier architecture system or a software comprises of comprises of a presentation tier, comprises of a presentation tier, a presentation tier, which we call as which we call as SAP GUI, which we call as SAP GUI. What do you mean by SAP GUI, guys? GUI stands for Graphical User Interface.
Interface.
Now, if you want to look at it, sir, how does a GUI look like? This is what is your logon pad through which we connect various systems. In one sense, we call this as GUI. We need to install this one. See this, guys, we have how many systems to connect? Lot many systems, starting with your S4 HANA system to R3 system. Every system is covered here. So you guys are going to work with all the systems which are listed here. And what do you call this? What you have opened? We call it as a logon pad. And if I say connect the system, whatever is coming in front of you is your GUI, graphical user interface. This is what is your graphical user interfaces. So one of the tier of a 3-tier or one of the tier of a software application is presentation, and we call it as GUI in SAP terminology. Next, central database tier. Central database tier. Central database tier. In SAP terminology, we call it as we call it as database instance. What do you call it as in SAP terminology? Database instance. Database instance. And the third tier of a software application, is application tier. What is that, guys? It's a application tier. And in SAP terminology, we address them or we call them as central instance. Central instance. In general, it is primary application. Central instance, in general, it is primary application. primary application, and then dialog instance, and dialog instance. In general, we call it as secondary application. We call it as secondary application. Secondary application. Guys, I like to pause here. I like to pause here so that to understand, people are able to understand what we are speaking. So I have to touch base here. One of your colleague here, one of your student, and ask like, did she or did he understand what we have spoke? Mamta,
That
yes, Mamta. What do you call a presentation in SAP terminology? Come on, beta, if you are writing it, speak up.
yes, yes, sir.
What do you call it as call your presentation in SAP terminology? Sayada,
Central
presentation. Sayada, you are there? Guys, you don't just listen to it because this is your base. And if you understand these things very well, for lifetime you will be calling these names. So you have to have a clarity about it. Now let me go to Devi. Devi,
Sir,
what do you call presentation in SAP terminology?
GUI, SAP GUI.
GUI. What do you call it as? Presentation is named as GUI in SAP terminology. Next, money. 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 What is central database in SAP terminology? Money. Open your mic. Vamshi, can you hear me? Vamshi Krishna.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What do you call central database in SAP terminology? Saida, you want to speak? What happened here? Why are you thinking too much? I have told you about only three things. Srivastav, yes. What do you
DB
call
called as DB
DB
instance.
instance? Central database is called as DB instance. Now next, let me go to Harsha. Harsha, other Harsha is missing today. You are the only one.
Sir,
Harsha, what do you call primary application in SAP terminology?
central instance, sir.
Central instance. Guys, these names should be addicted. You should be addicted with these names because lifetime you will be hearing them. Central instance, database instance, dialog instance, GUI. So the reason behind why I'm just cross-checking with the people is it is not like I open the class and I tell my class and go home. It is never like that, right? I do an inquiry with everyone, whether you are offline or online, and try to find out where the gaps are coming. If you just listen to the class and go home, nothing is going to happen. You're wasting your time here. You need to be involved in the class. When you're sitting for the class, don't listen to the class via mobiles. First of all, log in with your laptop. and have a concentration of everything which is discussed here. And if you want to do your subject in that way only, you can demand a job from me. If you are doing it for namesake, guys, you're wasting time and money. I still say you're not registered yet. If you are fully clear that I want to make a career in basis, then be attentive and be in the class. I can see the people who are sitting in front of me. I can see their eyes and I can see their face and understand whether they are understanding the subject. We have got two new gentlemen today. So for them, the subject, whatever I'm going to discuss now, may not be very clear because they didn't attend other two classes. But the rest of people who are sitting here, they are very clearly aware. Yesterday we started with R1 architecture and we have understood how the software applications were developed on this architecture. And we have understood what are the limitation of R1 architecture and then jumped down to R2 architecture. Then we have understood how a software is designed on R2 architecture and how it works. What all the names of all the softwares which are designed on R2 architecture and how the businesses are deployed on R2 architecture software. Then we have understood limitation of R2 architecture. Then we have discussed about R3 architecture. And after discussing R3 architecture, we have taken the differences between R2 and R3 architecture very clearly. And yesterday, there was a generic class what we have taken to understand different architectures of software. Today is a main class wherein we are discussing about SAP softwares and then architecture. And why this topic is very important for us? Because unless until you understand the base architecture of a system, how can you administrate it here? Now it will be equivalent to you becoming a doctor. You don't know where the heart is and what's the function of liver. Can you become a doctor? Now we are doctors to SAP system. We need to understand every entity in it and how it functions, how it has to be started, how it has to be stopped, how it works, how it is designed. So for that, architecture classes discuss. And if you don't understand the base system itself, doing an administration on that is a foolish thing. So please make yourself attentive. So I repeat, your presentation in SAP terminology is called as SAP GUI. UI is nothing but user interface. Today, whatever you say, Internet Explorer, this is also a UI for you. Rather, this is also a GUI for you. We can log into SAP systems with Internet Explorer also for NetWeaver based systems. But leaving this UI, SAP has precisely given a presentation or what you say logon pad, SAP logon. This is our GUI logon pad from where we connect the systems. And the moment I say connect the system, I'm going to get a GUI window, graphical user interface window. This is my presentation. And I log into system means my user and a password would be in database. When I execute enter, it will go to application of SAP and process this user ID and password. Application will go into database, fetches whether the record is there or not, and the right password is used, then I can log in. An SAP system is designed to run the entire business. And when it is running the entire business, what do you see here? Business runs on sales and distribution department. Entire sales process is designed here. Business runs on material. Entire material management department is here. Business runs on finance. Entire accounting part is here. So in these way, SAP system has all the features through which any business process can run. This is your presentation. And whatever you do, you're supposed to do. Why basis is very simple that anyone can adopt and learn. If suppose if I want to create a user, I have a simple command, hit enter. Where it is taking me? User maintenance. Suppose I want to create Mamta, how do you spell your name? Mamatha. I can give the username and say what? Create. It's all a drag and drop. And I can give her credentials. Last name Mamta, and her password is something like initial password, and Mamta is an admin, so I give her all the rights, and then enter, and then what is this floppy? Save. What has happened? User is created. So the work is very simple like this. And whatever I'm doing on a presentation, ultimately all this work is given to application. And what all the names through which SAP application is called with? We in general names are primary application, secondary applications. But in SAP terminology, what do you call primary application as? Central instance. What do you call secondary application as? Dialog instance. What do you call presentation as? GUI. And a GUI can connect primary, GUI can connect secondary as well. And we won't have secondary applications if you don't have a big load on the system. If you don't have a big load, there is no need of secondary. Primary would do. Secondary applications are only to balance the load. If not, whatever we have, it's fine. So in this prospects, in this architecture, SAP softwares were developed. Today we are focused to understand how many softwares were developed with this architecture, what we are seeing. And I have named it as primary, secondary, and I have given you a clear diagram here. What is this called as? 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 GUI. So I am trying to explain this entities to you. Everyone clear? Srivastav,
Rashid.
clear?
Yes, yes, Rashid.
Right? So every software application is designed with this format only. So now let us focus on those software applications. Write down the three software applications designed. The three software applications designed. The three software applications designed on R3 architecture are. On R3 architecture are. On R3 architecture are number one, SAP R3. The system name is on architecture, guys. SAP R3 with various releases. With various releases. As 1.0A, as 1.0A, 2.0B, 2.0B, then SAP R3 4.7 Enterprise Edition. Means we have lot of releases here. Means what are a lot of releases, and what's the last software with this architecture? SAP R3 4.7 Enterprise Edition. Now you can question me on one thing. Sir, why do we have this many releases? Very simple explanation, guys. You see Windows operating system, right? The very first Windows operating system which we started using was Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows XP, Windows Vista. Today what we have Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 9, Windows 10, Windows 11. Why do we have this many releases? Simple. More user friendliness, more features and more security from the last version to latest version. But when it comes to SAP system, guys, it not only had a security and look wise things, but it has much more features to do business better. For example, in old releases of SAP system, we had a sales process. Any business which is using SAP system can use it to perform a sale in his business. and whatever sales happen, that is typed in into SAP system. But with the latest release, SAP has added a feature of after sales service. Now, if you go and buy a two-wheeler or four-wheeler, what happens? Every month you have to do a service, right? Yes or no? The service feature is not there in the old releases, but in the latest releases, the service feature is also added. In this way, SAP has improvised their software from release to release, adding new features, making more user friendliness in this way. Now, write down this system or this system or this software. Guys, when you load this software in a system, this becomes this system. This system is a core SAP system. This system is a core SAP system. Core SAP system through which any business process would run. Through which any business process would run. What do you call this system as? Core SAP system. Core, that means main SAP system. Core SAP system means main SAP system through which any business process can run. Next statement. And this system is called as, and this system is called as OLTP system. What do you call the system as? OLTP system. What do you mean by OLTP, guys? OLTP system. Write down. It means online. OLTP system stands for what? Online transaction. Online transaction processing system. OLTP system is what? Online transaction processing system. Guys, you see this. I'm talking about this system in a pictorial diagrammatic way. So the old name of today's S4 HANA is SAP R3, right? And slowly the name has improvised to ECC, and today we call it as S4 HANA. These are core systems of SAP. And when it was R3, it was following R3 architecture. When it become ECC, it followed NetWeaver architecture. And it is S4 HANA, it followed NetWeaver architecture. So before we discuss NetWeaver architecture, the base architecture R3 should be understood by you. That's the reason today's class is conducted. And once you understood R3 architecture much better, then we are going to discuss NetWeaver architecture systems as well. But this is a foundation or fundamental system. Now guys, across this box, you have arrows. This arrows means what? The data is pumped in here. Data is pumped in here. So what does this arrow signify? The people sitting in sales department, material department, production department, finance department, quality department, project systems department, then your what do you say, HR department. These all employees of the company would log into same system every day online. And whatever I was hitting here, guys, this is considered as transaction. And what do you call this as? Transaction. The command, whatever I'm hitting is in SAP terminology, we call it as a transaction. And whatever the transaction I hit, what people are going to do with this? Sales order. And they create a sales order and they save it. They create a sales order and they save it. And once they save the sales order, the data is going into it. Every day sales data, material data, production data, HR data, finance data, everything is stored into a single system because this system comprises of all the departments. Clear? And when the data is going into this particular system, what do you call this system as? Online transaction processing system. Are you clear? So everyone uses SAP for running a business. So how a business runs in this way that all the department employees of the company, white collar employees of the company would enter their entire business into one system and it is saved there. And we can retrieve it whenever we want. So entire work is to save the data. And when it comes to SAP, what data we are saving? We are saving business data into it. Whether your business is pharmaceutical business, whether your business is oil and gas business, whether your business is a retail shop, whether your business is education system, whatever may be the business, in every SAP system, ultimately the data is getting saved by the people who are sitting in various departments or the employees who are sitting in various departments. Data is saved here. And when the data is saved into this system, and this is a core system through which a business runs, we address this system with the name OLTP system. Right? This is the first software of SAP design. The next software of SAP is, write down, in 1998. In 1998, SAP has designed SAP has designed a new system with additional features. New system with additional features of SCM. Guys, what do you mean by SCM? Supply chain management. Guys, that supply chain management features are not there in R3. So specifically for supply chain, they have designed one more system. Supply chain management. What is a short form of supply chain management? SCM. Supply chain. Supply chain can be raw material supply. Supply chain can be finished goods supply. Whatever. What is the market demand? How many sales orders are open for producing that goods? What is the sale? What is the raw material required? These all are dealt in supply chain management system. Now, guys, this system, write down, this system even have additional features. This system has, or this system even has additional features of warehouse management, warehouse management, comma, extended warehouse management, comma, extended warehouse management, extended warehouse management, and advanced planning. And what? Advanced planning. Advanced planning. So, guys, you can ask me, sir, what is this extended warehouse? Guys, after producing your goods, where do you preserve them? Go down. What do you call go down in technical terminology? Warehouse. Yes? If your warehouse is, suppose, very minimal, let us say 500 yards or something like that, this R3 has that features of maintaining a small warehouse. If you have a warehouse in acres, in which rack what product is lying and which product shell life is completed, we don't know the trace. Who can trace that? Which system? System name. APO. What does APO stands for, guys? Advanced Planner and Optimizer. Now, the people who have small warehouses doesn't need this system. The people doesn't have a supply chain doesn't need this system. They need this core system. They will use it to run a business. And this is something which is additional. If people say, come on, yeah, we have an extended warehouse as well, and as well as we have a supply chain features should be needed in our environment, then they will go for this additional system. If not, the single system is more than enough for them. Guys, don't you worry. If you are a basis guy, if you have one system or if you have multiple systems, our work doesn't changes. The only thing is I'll be monitoring one system only. That means one system landscape only. You'll be having R3 plenty systems as development, quality, sandbox, training, and then unit testing 1, unit testing 2, production and all. In R3 itself, you have varieties of systems. And you'll be having additional varieties of system in APO. So you need to monitor R3 landscape and APO landscape. That's it. So work has extended. But the way what you work in R3 and you work in APO remains the same as a basis admin. But functional people who are going to work with a core system, they will have some differences. They need to have a special APO consultant to work on it. On this particular system, they require a person who is learning SD, MM, PP from in other classes. Are you clear on what I'm trying to say? Every one of you. So this is about your APO system. Write down. APO system is also APO system is also OLTP system. What kind of system is this? APO system is also OLTP system. What do you call OLTP as? Online transaction processing system. You've seen that data is also coming in. Every day people who are sitting in these departments are going to enter the data. Supply chain department is separate. Extended warehouse department is separate. The people will log in with the data. Fine. This is your second system as APO. Next, write down. The third SAP system, which is designed for special reporting in the year 1998. In the year 1998 is BIW system. Is what system, guys? BIW system, and it stands for Business Information Warehouse. What it stands for, guys? Business Information Warehouse. Business Information Warehouse. And this is designed specially for, and this system is designed specially for reporting purpose, or specially for business reporting purpose. Specially for what? Business reporting purpose. Specially for business reporting purpose. And it is called as It is called as OLAP system. What kind of system it is called as, guys? OLAP system. OLAP, not OLTP. It is OLAP, and it stands for online, and it stands for online analytical processing system, and it stands for online analytical processing system. Yes, listen to this carefully now. Guys, you know what is a business reporting? Now, your management, let us think like whatever you're saying, there's a landscape of Dr. Reddy Laboratories. They are pharmaceutical business. So, Dr. Reddy owners want to understand we manufacture or we produce a special drug named Brufen. Last 5 years, what is the sale of a Brufen? From where you're going to get that? You're going to get it from here. Yes or no? People can enter into the system, give the 5 years and the product name, and then they can execute. So the report will come here. Now the management want to do some intelligent reporting. What is that intelligent reporting? Last 5 years, the sale is this much. With the data or with the sale of last 5 years, how do the sale for next 2 years? What happens, you're seeing an arrow connected from here to BW. So the data is pulled from this system into BW, and that is analyzed. Analytical reporting, that is intelligent reporting. So last 5 years, whatever the data has happened, it is here. Now coming 2 years, what would be the projection of the sale? If your business wants such type of reports, they need what system, guys? BIW system. If the business says we don't want any intelligent report, keep it aside here. OLAP itself is called as online analytical processing system. Now SAP has got how many softwares in this period of 1990 to 2003? They have got only three softwares. The first was released in 1992. After 1992, guys, till 1998, they did not have any other software. They had only one. In 1998, they have come up with these two softwares. One is for reporting, one is for supply chain. Now, between 1992 to 2003, SAP has got how many softwares? Three softwares with different releases. You're seeing plenty of releases here. Plenty of releases, plenty of releases. Yes or no? So this is it. Now we are discussing the architecture of these softwares, and you can see on every software underneath I have written something. What is that? This software is designed on presentation, application, and database. Presentation, application, and database. Now write down the above discussed systems or softwares. The above discussed systems or softwares are designed on a single architecture. Designed on single architecture named as R3 architecture. Named as R3 architecture. Got it? Now draw three boxes in the same way what I have drawn. First box, name it as R3 only. If you don't want to name ECC or S4 HANA, you can remove that. Name it as R3 only, because we are telling you that these systems follow an R3 architecture, SAP R3 system, and this is having R3 architecture, even this is R3 architecture, this is R3 architecture. Architecture is same, but the names of the system are. Now, someone today who attended the class, he can ask me, sir, why SAP has named their system on architecture? What's the name of SAP system, guys? SAP system, first system name is SAP R3, wherein R3 is an architecture for us. That's why SAP has kept the name of the system on architecture. The reason being to tell the world, to tell the entire world that our system follow R3 architecture, wherein up till then, when SAP has released R3 architecture, everywhere you had only R2 architectures. To tell the world that our software is designed on three tier, they have named their software on architecture itself. Clear? Now, for example, guys, if I give you one book and say, get a Xerox of it, guys, what do you think? What is Xerox? We Telangana people know, or Andhra people know Xerox means what? We'll go to Xerox shop and get it. We call it a Xerox shop also only, right? But actually, is that a Xerox? It is a photocopy. Yes or no? Actual name is get a photocopy of it. Xerox is a company name which has manufactured that particular photocopy machine. And they were the people who have designed it for the first time. So people started calling it as Xerox only. But actually it is photocopy. Similar way, the architecture, what you are calling it as three tier, this is designed by whom? SAP AG. So they have named their software itself on architecture to tell the world that our software follow this architecture. Clear? So did you draw these three boxes? And this two boxes data is coming into our BW, and from BW a report is going out. Symbolically, anyone sees this, they have to understand things very clearly. What they have to understand things very clearly, they have to understand things in this way now. What way? This way. R3 system, APO system, BW system. Clear, guys? Every one of you. Right. Now let us go little detail into the subject. Now write down any SAP system, any SAP systems which are designed on three tier, which are designed on three tier, which are designed on three tier, have have specific names, have specific names, like like central database, like central database, is called as DB instance. Central database is called as DB instance. And it can be loaded on any RDBMS. It can be loaded on any RDBMS like Oracle, MS SQL, Oracle, MS SQL, DB2, DB2, MaxDB, Sybase, and HANA, Sybase and HANA. Sybase and HANA. Guys, listen to this carefully now. Most of the people who are with me right now, the moment they hear a word Oracle, what they will have an understanding, Oracle means database. Sir, after loading database, again what is this database instance? Yes, guys, when SAP uses Oracle or MS SQL or DB2 or MaxDB or Sybase, we are not using the entire Oracle database here. SAP took database from Oracle and they have restructured it, and we are using only the skeleton of RDBMS. On that skeleton, the flesh should be our features. What is our flesh? Our departments: sales and distribution, material management, production planning, human resource, finance. How this features of running business would be loaded in the system when you load database instance. And to load database instance, what is required? Any RDBMS is required. Any RDBMS, just give a skeleton. On that skeleton, the flesh should be the actual features of running business. This is nothing but your database instance. Now write down SAP GUI, SAP presentation. SAP presentation is called as SAP presentation is called as SAP GUI. SAP presentation is called as SAP GUI. It provides a user interface. It provides a user interface through which any user can interact. With any SAP system. Any user can interact with any SAP system. And write down full stop and next statement. And it comes in 3 forms. Guys, SAP GUI comes in how many forms? 3 forms. Number 1, Windows GUI. Number 1, Windows GUI. Guys, Windows GUI means the GUI what you can load it on? Windows is nothing but Windows GUI. Next, Java GUI. Now you can ask me, sir, what is this Java GUI? Listen to this very carefully. Tomorrow, in place of Windows, if you have a MacBook, people can use a MacBook as their laptop, right? On MacBook, Windows files will get loaded? No. So you need to have a special GUI for that. That is nothing but Java GUI. And this Java GUI should be used tomorrow. Someone is loading a Linux operating system on their laptop. Ubuntu or what you have, CentOS, we have Linux. That's a free operating systems in the world. People not paying Microsoft, they can download free operating systems as well. So if you have loaded that free operating system, what should be the GUI on it? Same Java GUI. On Linux also Java GUI, and MacBook also Java GUI. Apart from these two GUIs, write down the next one. The third GUI is HTML GUI. The third GUI is, what do you call? HTML GUI. Guys, HTML GUI is nothing but a web browser here. Web browser. What do you mean by this web browser? Your Internet Explorer. IE Internet Explorer. Through your Internet Explorer also I can log into your SAP system. But NetWeaver systems we can log in, not into R3. But we are just keeping in front of you about 3 GUIs what we have today. Now write down SAP applications. SAP applications. SAP application are designed to process user request. SAP GUI are designed to process user request. Are designed to process user request. Where primary application is called as central instance. What do you call it as, guys? Central instance. And secondary applications are called as dialog instances. Are called as dialog instances. They help in balancing the load. They help in balancing the load of central instances. Balancing the load of central instance. Got it, guys? They are designed for what? Load balancing dialog instances. Now, all these presentations, if they are jumping onto this central instance do not have that much of capability of processing entire request of all these particular presentations. So what SAP has done, SAP said like, why this many presentations has to log into central? So let me have a similar kind of a application what you have as central. You have to have another application with the name dialog instances, wherein these presentations can route from here. Presentation or else dialog instance 1, dialog instance 2, dialog instance 3, dialog instance 4. Now if you don't have much load, then there is no need of dialog instances at all. Clear? Central instance would be happily doing limited presentations work. So, guys, SAP system is a three-tiered system, right? One tier is GUIs. Another tier is So tomorrow, if you want to install SAP system installation should be how many steps?
Yes.
3 steps. One step is GUI. One step is that's it. Clear? And sir, don't we require a dialog instance? Initially, we don't require because you're the only one user working on that. If you have plenty of users working on it, then we are going to think about dialog. Now, guys, after you understanding SAP system to an extent now, I can't say clearly, I can say to an extent now, the next focus point is write down the heading for tomorrow's subject. Central instance architecture. Oh, central instance architecture. What's that, guys? Central instance architecture of SAP systems. Guys, listen to this. After explaining all these things, now I am coming to a fundamental thing for a basis guy. Now, everyone understood that users are logged in with a presentation and doing their job. But ultimately, the work is coming to central instance, the users who have logged in. The users who have logged into dialog instance, the work is coming to dialog instance. Forget about dialog instance now. Let us talk only about central instance. The question here is, what is the mechanism in central instance design that every user's request would be processed? How the request is getting processed by central instance? What is the architecture of internal architecture of central instance? That is important. And for a basis guy, that is bread and butter. Because tomorrow, what will be your core job as a basis guy? Monitoring the system. What is that we are monitoring? Every user across the globe. Now, suppose I am monitoring a bank server, ICICI bank server. Now, what do you think at a given moment throughout the India or throughout the world, how many users might have logged in from online, from bank branches at a time into this system? We have to monitor it. And our job is to see whatever may be the kind of a users, lakhs of users are logged in now. Is every user work happening smoothly or not? When all these users are connected to central instance is processing the user work. And how this processing is happening, we need to understand to monitor that work. So that's the reason tomorrow's class is a core class wherein you're going to understand the architecture of SAP central instance. Later we can understand the architecture of dialog instances as well. What should be your next class? Central instance architecture. And after understanding central instance architecture in detail, or rather understanding the architecture of central instance, then we are going to plan to install the system. Got it, guys? Most probably tomorrow I'll be giving you every detail how to install this system after explaining you the central instance, so that Saturday and Sunday you will be taught how to install, how to do the 3 steps. Are you getting it? So you might be wondering, sir, we have never installed operating system in our life, and you're talking about installing SAP system. Yes, guys, we are going to make it so easy. The only work you are supposed to do is whatever the work we are teaching you on that day, you have to see that that work is completed by you as practical, one time, two time, three time, four time, 10 times. We are going to give you that much of time. The class is 1 hour only, right? Rest of all day till you come to the same the next day same time, you have your time only, and you have your own laptops wherein you can log in and work initial works. And once you are very familiar with SAP system, its work and all, then you can connect our lab. Are you getting it? Yes? Anyone have any questions on this? Mamata, Mani, Harsha? Pavan, Pooja, Purna, Sayada Srivastava Vamshi.